Hello and welcome to another episode of Geek-Men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I'm Dustin, and with me today I have my good buddy, Nick Metal. How's it going? No, I can't hear you. You're faint.
Really? We were just.
Yeah, now you're good.
I guess I gotta get real close. I'll have to use my computer next time.
So how's it going?
It's going okay. Things have been okay. Reading a lot,
Yeah,
hanging out. How about you, dude?
about the same. That's all I do these days.
Yeah.
I take my kids outside, let them run around and play, and then I lay around, sleep, all that stuff.
Well, play's a kid's job and sleeping's an adult's job. So
Yeah, pretty
that's what you're
much.
supposed to be doing, man.
Oh goodness. So what have you been into? Other than reading and
reading. But I've kind of been in like an isekai kick lately. Been reading not the animes. I've been watching anime somewhat, but mostly the books. I've been enjoying them quite a lot. Some of them,
yeah.
very picky. There's some good ones and there's a lot of bad ones.
Yeah, so those are probably like the filler episodes. So to speak.
But the novels are a little different. I mean, I've really enjoyed it. Like right now I'm reading Reincarnated as a Sword. That's one of my favorite, even though I just picked up because I was kind of like in a down period. And I was like, I want something light and easy going. Ended up being way better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Black Summoner's another good one if you just want simple. Nothing to that one. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing. Working, sleeping, video games, 40K.
What kinds of things do you have for 40K? What's your army?
I don't have any minis. I don't have the money or the
time
to do that.
So you're just into like the lore and stuff?
Oh yeah, big time. Nice. I read the novels and go hardcore into the lore. I freaking love that, man. That's a good.
Well, I mean,
good.
You got the Emperor as your profile pic for. Yeah. You've had that as for so long,
dude. I'm a loyalist all the way. You got to go with the Emperor. He was, yeah, brilliant. His dipshit sons.
So what's up with the dipshit sons?
His Primarchs. I hopefully know enough about the lore about the Primarchs.
I've only dabbled in the lore so far. I haven't dove deep.
Well, at least know of the 20 Primarchs, right?
Hmm.
Well, he created the 20 Primarchs to kind of help him conquer the universe and control it afterwards, maybe. But they're supposed to be. They call them demigods because they're like 12-foot tall, genetically engineered super creatures that are so far beyond humanity in mind and body and whatever. And yet 10 of them, like, oh yeah, chaos. They tend to lie a lot and twist their words, but no, we're gonna believe them hardcore, and they fell. It's like, how do you do that? Like, I'm smart enough to do that, and I'm not a super demigod. Like, that's just dumb. You have to be a dipshit son. Of course, they blame his parenting, but like, if I was a parent, I would, my son is a super genius. Like, literally, everybody look at him. He's like a god amongst men. I would trust him not to go talk to the demon that's like, hey, if you sell me your soul, I'll give you $5. It's like, what the fuck, dude? No, nah. Now you gotta read the books, dude. If you want lots of sadness.
Yeah,
any of the novels?
No, I haven't read any of the novels.
We'll start with the Horus Heresy series, or even if you want to start a little bit lighter, start with the Eisenstein. And Eisenstein is part of the Horus Heresy. I'm thinking of who's the Inquisitor? He's really famous. His face doesn't move. Oh crap.
I have no idea.
I can't remember his name for the life of me. Anyway, whatever. He's one of the more famous characters, but the Horus Heresy series is really, really, really good. And they love to do this thing where you're like, all these people are just amazing. They're Space Marines, but they're like the best people ever, and you really like them. And then they get killed, but they always die in like very valorous ways, and like it made an impact in what they did. But it's just like that's the entire series is just really awesome, likable characters that die horribly.
Oh, it sounds like Game of Thrones.
Uh
Some
honestly,
of
I would
them,
think this is
some of
worse
them
than
were,
Game of. It's not quite worse than Game of Thrones. You don't get quite so attached to them.
yeah.
But yeah, you're like, hey, all of his friends, all of the rest of his legion are pieces of shit. He is an amazing guy who's going to stand up for the right thing and fight against all odds, and then he dies. And you're like, well, of course he did. And oh, look, this guy might actually get, warn the emperor, blah, 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 and he died. But that was the fight of the Eisenstein. One of them did escape the Isfahan 3 drop site massacre. Man, I'm just drawing a blank today. But yeah, one of them did flee that, and they did manage to get to Terra and warn the Emperor and everything. But there's some debate that he probably already knew.
Oh,
you haven't got into that? I thought you at least knew that. When
I don't think I have.
When his 10 sons fell, the Emperor's one of the most psychic beings to ever exist outside of the old ones. But in one of the books, after Magnus the Red tears through his the wards surrounding his Webway project and let all the demons into Terra, he the Magnus stopped by with his soul and dropped off a premonition or something, because the Emperor could see the future pretty well because he was so good at psychic powers and stuff. And so there's a lot of theories that he knew the horse heresy was coming. He knew which ones would fall, or probability of which ones would fall, and he kind of guided it in certain ways. And this might just be hand wavy from Games Workshop, but it might be because, when he was acting like a dick towards some Primarchs, like Angron.
Yeah.
If he could see the future, he may have known, if I was nice to this guy, it won't end well. I have to do this specific way, because if I don't, he'll do this, and this will ricochet, because you can see he's playing it. Basically, he's playing like a chess game behind the scenes the whole time. And yeah, you should read the books, man. They're very good. There's 40 of them or something for the Horus Heresy. There's more than that for the other ones.
Wow. I'll have to check those out. I think they're probably, I don't know, I'll have to check them out in the library, see what they got.
You always just put on your pirate hat, storm the seas.
Yeah, I could. I don't really do that too much anymore, though. Unfortunately, I let other people do it for me.
Gotcha.
Like movies and stuff. I just link to a server and they just pop in magically.
Isn't that amazing how that works?
Yeah. It's just like,
speaking of that,
go out and request a movie. It's like, yeah, that's about it.
If anybody happens to drop this VHS from the 1980s, although some of it, how long is it until some of it's in public domain and you don't have to pay for it?
I have no idea.
Some of those old videos and stuff might be in public domain. You can get for free. I know a lot of, this is way older, but I know a lot of H.P. Lovecraft stuff. You can get apps that have all of his stuff on it.
Right. I still foolishly bought 2 of the books.
It's H.P. Lovecraft. Owning a book is like, you're not even reading it. Just having the book is something.
Right. No, it's like this really beautifully bound book, and I have 2 of them like that are pretty much the same, but they have roughly the same stories in it. Both of them have it in it, but still, it's just one of those things. It's like, oh, these are cool.
Is it his dream cycles or his mythos cycle? They usually bundle them.
It's the collected works of H.P. Lovecraft.
Just all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple books, but I mostly just downloaded the app because I'm cheap.
Yeah, right.
You could seriously just, I downloaded an app because it's in public domain. They can't make money on it, so they have an app, and I just read it from there. Although I do own a couple of books because, like I said, owning the books is something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's different. I don't know. I haven't actually opened them up and read them, except for maybe one or 2 stories out of each one. But it's like I like to keep them nice and pristine, and it's like, oh, they're so pretty. It's like I'll go read the book online, like, or something, but
You
save
need the
this for
library, man.
yeah.
Everybody needs a library, then like one hidden door that like the bookshelf moves and then you can go back in and have your man cave.
I know.
I wish
I
I had
want
one,
that
man.
so bad.
You pull out a certain book. Oh, the door open. Like every
Right.
nerd's dream.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and they're so elaborate. Like nowadays, they have stuff that's so elaborate, and it's like, wow. But it's like easily accessible. But at the same time, it's like, why are they still alive? You know, because aren't you supposed? Isn't that the protocol? Like you kill the people that help you put in the secret passageway.
Yeah.
I thought that's what you were supposed to do.
Just build it yourself.
Yeah, unless you did it yourself.
I saw on like YouTube or something where that guy built, it was like a 3-mile long tunnel into the mountain behind his house. And he just like, it had like piping and ventilation and water and electricity, and he did it all himself. It's like, you have a lot of spare time.
Wow.
Yeah, people are nuts.
Why was he doing that?
If I remember correctly, I think he was like making LSD and stuff in there. He had like a chemistry lab. Like it was like a full-on lab, and that's why he had so much ventilation and stuff, I think.
Oh, okay. Well,
I can't remember.
well, you said you recently got treated for ADHD, right?
Yeah.
What was that about?
Well, you know, I have hard.
You're muffled again.
Sorry?
You're muffled?
Oh, I probably got too close, too far away.
Okay.
Better?
Yeah.
See, but then you stare at my forehead, and then it's like it's my forehead in all its glory. Oh well, though you can hear me now, though. Yeah, I just had massive problems thinking. I can't, you know, I forget things after I say it. I'd even kind of, it's not a stutter, but like in the middle of my sentence, I would stop and I'd have to rethink of like where I was in the conversation, rethink the entire conversation, get back to where I was. And I did that like every 10 seconds. And I fought for a long time with psychiatrists trying. I mean, I was on, they got diagnosed with ADHD, so on medication, did really well. And that's when I went to college, actually the second time, but my first real time where I got good grades and I did a really good job. And then I had, I turned 26, got off my parents' insurance, and then I had to change psychiatrists, and he didn't treat ADHD. So then they tripped through the loops, you know, it's just your depression. It's just your blah, blah, blah. Cause I'm being treated for depression too. I've always been that since I was like 17 or something, 16. But
right.
So they just changed my meds around, and I'm like, well, this isn't helping. I mean, when I was on the Ritalin the first time, it just massively changed my life. And so we tried a whole bunch of things, and then 10 years later, I finally said screw it, and then I went to this program called Done, D-O-N-E, Done, and it's basically just a program to get you in touch with doctors that do treat it. And since I already had a diagnosis, I got put back on the Ritalin, and then everything's been going great again.
Okay.
Well, mostly great. I can think again, and I'm wanting to go back to school again, but you know, depression things have gotten worse because my girlfriend left me. Well, that's a long, depressing story. But yeah, but no. So like, after all this time of fighting with the doctors, finally got put back on Ritalin, and everything is just so much better. I can remember. I remember names. I remember like, other than like Arnold Schwarzenegger and a couple really popular people, never knew names. Now I know band members' names. Like, never could remember band member names, and it's like life-changingly good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember back when we used to work together, it was always like, yeah, this one dude, I don't remember his name, but yeah, this dude's cool. This dude has really good screams or whatever.
Oh yeah, like metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things have gotten even more interesting now, because then we got stuff like they weren't really around when we were hanging out, but like Greg Gilbert from Shrine of Malice, he's freaking nuts. Alex Terrible from Slaughter to Prevail, he just did a thing where they compared him to an alligator, because he has this like, he like rolls his R's while growling, but it's like he's like really good anyway, but it's like low growl with a rolled R. I'm like, how do you even do that? And then and then there's Dickie Allen from Infinite Annihilator, who I don't even know if he's human. Like, he's a skinny little guy, but he does. You should listen. Even if you don't like Infinite Annihilator, that type of music, you should just like listen to some of the music and what he does.
Mhm.
It's just unreal. That guy can make the weirdest sounds. And he used to work. He started doing his screams, growls, weird goblin noises, whatever they are. He started that at a haunted house, which he worked at a haunted house, would chase people while doing those things. And I'm like, man, that would be freaking cool.
Yeah.
That guy is nuts.
All of a sudden, you hear this weird random dude chasing you, and you're like, "Oh, wow, that's actually really good."
He sounds like a straight up demon, dude. That guy is not even other people that growl know how to do what he does. I'm sure some do, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
He's
no,
nuts.
I get it.
He's nothing impressive. Their guitar player is pretty good too. Their drummer's just really fast. Like, he's nothing special, just faster than everybody else, which is impressive, but not as impressive as like I'm gonna butcher this guy's name, but Slaughter Prevail's drummer, Evgeny Novikov. Because they're from Russia, I can't pronounce Russian names, but he's very good, very good. He's fast, but not like the guy from Infinite Annihilator fast. But all of his drum, you just watch his drum beats. I'll have to send you some of his drum stuff after we're done here.
Yeah,
just watch him play the drums. He's got like, it's so complicated, but like it flows. Oh, you'll see what I mean. That guy is really good.
I probably could share something. Let's do a little share screen. Share screen. And all right. So let's see, YouTube.
Yep. Just type Slaughter to Prevail drum. Oh, first one. And just had drum on the end. Yeah, Evgeny Novikov. Demolisher's a good one.
Ads are abysmal.
What's even crazier is these guys are from Russia, and they have a video. Alex Terrible, the lead singer, had a video coming out against the Ukraine war like 2 days after it happened. I'm surprised they're still alive.
Oh, gee.
Here come the gravity blasts. I was like watching his footwork. He has like 3 different styles. He uses like there's I'm not a drummer, so I don't know completely what I'm talking about, but he'll like use just the normal foot press, where it just hits the drum, and then he goes heel toe, which is you use your toe, then your heel, then your toe, then your heel, and that's so you can go faster. And then there's a swivel technique where you go side to side, and that's how people go really fast now. And he does all 3. I've never seen it. It might be more common than I'm thinking, but I've never seen anybody use all 3 different techniques depending on what speed they're going. So I've always had fun just watching his feet, his footwork. Yeah, guys, it's freaking nuts, dude. How complicated that is. Like, he's got like patterns that I don't know. There's a word for it, and of course I don't know it. But it like you have a pattern, then it repeats, but like a little different, and then he adds it in. Oh, I can't even describe it.
I see what you mean. He's got some interesting footwork there.
Yeah. Here comes the breakdown. You ever listen to Demolisher? It was making the rounds. I don't know if you're a metalhead or even this kind of metal, but this part right here, he talks in this weird low demon voice. And it's like the lowest voice you've ever heard in your life. And everybody's like, what the heck is he doing? It's straight up crazy. But I mean, they don't play it in the drum playthrough, but it was what made them famous because in this part he just
Do you have a kitchen pot next to him? It looks like he has just a regular kitchen pot.
bang. And that's the end of the song.
Nice.
Yeah, guy's nuts. He's probably my favorite drummer right now. The only one I think is better is the guy from Beyond Creation, because that guy is... I can't even keep up with him.
Yeah, I don't know. There's someone I see on it's one of those stupid things, TikTok or Instagram Reels or something, where someone's just like, okay, now let's see what this person thinks, and he's just like, and he watches, and then he's just like, okay, I think this might be the best drummer ever, and it's just like he talks about it. It's just has a weird breakdown. I don't know. I don't know his name, but I know I've seen him on stuff, but yeah, I don't know.
There's
I find
of them, actually.
stuff like that interesting.
Like drum teachers and stuff like that. And I've watched a couple of videos on Evgeny Novikov, and they've all really liked him. Yeah, I'll have to show you some cool metal.
Yeah, I'm open to it.
Yeah, I don't know what you're gonna like, but there's some cool vocal stuff that's been coming out lately with like deathcore scene and stuff, and just for the novelty of it, I think you would get a kick out of it if you didn't like it.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty open to all kinds of music. Like, I like tons of random different things. So
yeah, me too. I always get in arguments at work because they always listen to like Taylor Swift and Kesha, and one day, I'm by the way, other than Brandon, the owner, I'm the oldest person. I am the second oldest person there, but the person that's been there the longest outside of Brandon. So I like have some seniority. And this, like, one of the girls that work there, the girls tend to be really young, like 16, 17. And she played Trailer Swift is like I call her, for 2 days straight, just like album after album. And I'm like, okay, if we play another Taylor Swift song, I'm gonna start throwing things. Like, this is gonna be bad. Because I can't handle that music for 2 days. Right. It's just awful. Just
like, it's
awful.
one thing to have it mixed in. That's fine.
Yeah.
So like I listened to this radio station 107.3, and it's like alternative type music. And so it's just, I mean, they play everything from Blink-182 to Linkin Park to older stuff. And I find it like a good compromise, like medium.
Good mix. Yep.
Yeah, like it's like, all right, this is a good mix. I don't need to have Taylor Swift back to back to back to back. Yeah, that's fine. But
yeah, the whole kind of got off topic there, but yeah, the whole reason I say that is they listen to so much stuff that's like, I'm gonna sound like an old person, but I've had this opinion since I was young, but it's like, it's not music. Like, it's just a guy like Drake. Like, he's good for what he is, but it's just a guy and somebody on a Fruity Loops program. I mean, really? That's not that special. I mean, like Dimmu Borgir had a whole album where it was 2 guitar players, a bassist, a singer, a drummer, and the entire third Norwegian orchestra. And they had a whole album where it was like a group of like 50 people making music. And then, you know what I mean, they had to sync it all up. And I mean, there's technology that helps with that. And I don't mind that, but like, to make all of your music on a computer, it just seems so fake to me. Like, so I could do that. I can make the music. I mean, I'm not even that good, and I could do half the stuff they do. Just put some talent into it. Play some real instruments. That's all I ask. That's why when they play country, I don't complain as much. I just find it boring, but I don't find it like offensive.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't know. Plus there's usually a story for the most part. There's a lot of country music that tells a story, and it's like, okay, that's a nice story. Let's change it up with something different now.
Yeah. Well, the thing I have about the problem I have with country music, and I used to make fun of it for this,
Mm.
and until I started working like all these young girls against, half of them listen to like Drake and Taylor Swift, and the other half listen to country. And I didn't realize how true and correct I was. All of those songs are about either girls, trucks, or alcohol. Every
Right.
single song. And it never fails. I've yet to hear a single song that didn't have one of those three things at least mentioned.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't really have a problem with country. It's just boring to me. But
Right.
it's music. It's just not my music. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like, is there nothing else to their lives than alcohol, a chick, and a truck? Like, that's the extent of your life? That's sad. That's pathetic. I mean, I know simple lives are okay, but they're like doing something with their life where all you're doing is talking about beer, alcohol, girls, and trucks. That's just not for me.
Yeah, I hear that.
But like the old 70s and 80s songs, man, like grunge. I love Alice in Chains and uh, Pearl Jam and a little bit of Nirvana. I'm picky with Nirvana. I don't know why, but and then like the old 70s, like Rainbow, Dio, the old rock ones. Oh man, I love all that. Even like a little bit of the Beatles and anything with music. Anything is music,
Yeah, yeah. I like those things where it's like, all right, here's however many producers, blah blah blah, and it lists all breakdown of everything, and then the singer, and it's like sold however many tracks, and it's just like, here's one song written by one person, and it's like infinitely better.
Mm-hmm.
like I like those little breakdowns where people have that, and it's just like, yeah, see this, yeah, this is music. This other is not music.
It was made by a person about, I don't even know about the story. It didn't have to be a story, but about something important to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they written all together for itself. It flows nicely. Oh man, older songs are the best. 70s and 80s, I'm telling you. Mostly 70s, but
Yeah, my my dad's wife, Barb, she says that claims that the 70s is the best era of music. And it's
I
just
would
like,
probably agree with that.
she's like, it's like you sit down and listen to any song and it's awesome. It's just,
Yep.
all
They
right,
were
yeah,
real
if you
musicians
really pay
before.
attention and listen and you're like, what song was this? What year was the song come out? And it's like, oh, it was in the 70s. Oh, all right.
70s, that's when music hit its peak, I think. And it was even more, the good stuff was popular.
Mm.
Nowadays, in my opinion at least, the good stuff is not what's popular.
Right. Well, to you for sure. I mean, because you hear it played on every person's radio, but it's not what you want to listen to. Like I know for me, I really liked Reliant K, and it was a band that was from our area, and they took off, and it was just they just had really good stories, and he's very underrated lyricist, and I don't know, I just enjoy that group a lot. But again, that wasn't as popular. That wasn't anywhere near as popular as the songs at the time. So it's like, all right, if you say so.
Yeah. I think in the 70s it was about making good music.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why it was so good back then. And then nowadays, I don't even some of my stuff is just not the same.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't have the same quality.
Yeah,
But it's still like almost like a guilty pleasure, but like it's enjoyable nonetheless.
Guilty pleasure. See, I know this. There's this thing. I was arguing with one of the coworkers about her music was being bad, and I was complaining about it because I'm a complainer. And I was talking to her, and I saw this somewhere. I don't remember all the details, but back in like the 70s, 80s, maybe, or maybe it was 90s. Anyway, the big companies, the big publishing music companies, they found certain beats. There's especially one that people really like, they instinctually like everybody really liked. And now like there's like 3 of them that are like really good.
Uh-huh.
And that's what all the songs are because they know people like them.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with originality, nothing to do with the song. They know, hey, people really like these 3 rhythms, so we're going to put them in all of our songs because that'll sell.
Right.
And that I watched the whole thing on it, but I don't remember a lot of it. But that kind of felt bad to me. I was like, that's not music, that's corruption.
Right. It's like, dang it, you pulled the wool over my eyes. Like,
yeah,
you tricked me into liking this song that's actually crap.
yeah. Well, that's what most of the music is nowadays. They just do
Yeah.
it to make money, and I don't even know why people like it. It's definitely not for talent. I'm gonna stop talking because I'm gonna be complaining about this for 6 hours. I could go on and on. So I grew up with stuff like Pink Floyd and Kenny Wayne Shepherd and stuff like that. I mean, that was music, man. I
Yeah.
still like Pink Floyd. I don't listen to them much anymore because I overheard them to the point where it makes me sick. But
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah. I think there's things that happen. Your ears get tired of music sometimes. It's like, all right, yeah, I've had enough of you for a little bit. I need to put you back on the shelf. And that's why I prefer playlists. So that way you can have a playlist and it's just
random,
different random songs or whatever that you enjoy, but it's not something like how the radio usually tends to play over and over and over and over again. But
right?
I still will go in and put songs in, add songs in throughout because it's like I like this song, I want to listen to it some more, so I arbitrarily add some in.
Heck yeah,
Like,
you gotta tailor it up a little bit, dude.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I really like this song, so I added a couple more. I really like Blink 182's song One More Time. I know that just hits home for me.
Yeah.
And
I kind of like them. They're not my favorite, but I do not dislike them.
right. Well, I mean, I was a big fan of American Idiot. That CD was amazing. And I also liked their Angels and Airwaves that they did a spinoff where it was just like the lead singer and he was doing that kind of stuff. I enjoyed that music too. But when they reunited and came back, I'm enjoying that, specifically that one song. It just resonates with me because, I don't know, I feel a little guilty. I focused on school and stuff like that, and I let certain friends drift away, and we all missed each other, but then by the time I got to see him again, there wasn't a chance to even say goodbye. So
Right.
I don't know, it just resonates with me.
Yeah, it resonates with your soul.
Yeah.
That's part of life, though, sadly.
Yep, it is. It really is. But I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, not to bring the room down. I'm just was
No,
thinking
you're good, dude. That stuff's important. Life's important, man. Friends are important. People are important. You gotta respect and love that. Just not at the
Yeah.
cost of other things, which is the hard part.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an audio, and it talks about like how artists think, oh well, just because I like it doesn't mean other people like it. And um but when it comes down to it, it's like if you like it, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
Because that's like an offering, to God, and you're saying, I like this so much that I'm willing to share it with other people. Like, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's like a very intimate form of communication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's how I like, because that's how I feel about this podcast in general, because it's like I like to get on and talk with friends, and talk toys, talk whatever, just have fun. And so I don't know, I think that
So then it's
really reminds
cemented
me.
in the universe forever because
Yeah.
nothing ever leaves the internet.
Well, right. Yeah.
Unless
Pretty
like the
much.
planet gets exploded, but
Yeah. That's true. Oh goodness.
yeah, you're
So
kind of enshrining little minutes in time to keep.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, plus it's like, I don't know. I just like it.
Oh yeah. It's fun hanging out with people and just talking and letting other people listen in and
Yeah, for
getting your
sure.
thoughts out there.
Yep. Yeah, I dig it.
So what
Feel
else?
like there was something that we were gonna say, but I've totally blanked on it.
Oh, my ADHD kicked in hardcore, and we've been going from topic to topic to topic to topic to topic. So it's all good. We
Oh
started off on
goodness.
40K, went to music, went to growling, then went to the state of music, and then now we're talking about enshrining moments in time in the universe.
Yeah.
That's ADD at its full potential.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what my podcast is on Fridays. It's pretty much just all over the place, but we talk about the movie and then it's all over the place.
Oh,
Oh goodness.
I'm actually really interested in that because I have this weird hobby, I guess, where I kind of gotten into not like into like professional philosophy, but I like to like watch shows and movies and stuff and then find the philosophy behind it, the meaning, the lesson, the you know what I mean, and just kind of pick that apart and stuff like that. And there's some interesting little tidbits that I've learned throughout just watching movies that you look up on your spare time. You're like, that's really cool.
Hmm.
Like here's just one example. You ever hear of a old 1990s anime called Casshern? Casshern. It was like a movie OVA kind of a thing back in the day.
No, I haven't.
Basically, it's just kind of the normal anime kind of silly plot, but it actually has some pretty cool things in it. Like I learned one thing that I've never forgotten, and basically the plot is this guy invents robots. They take over the world. He finds a way to convert people into robots. He turns into sun into it, and it's better. He fights the bad guys. That's pretty much the plot. I mean, there's a little bit more to
Right.
it, but there's one episode or part of the movie. I can't remember what it is. It's been a long time, but the lieutenant of the bad guy is trying to kill him with all these robots, and they can't stop him because he's way more advanced than they are. And she gets this one robot, and they invented a new metal for it. And he punches it, and it doesn't. It's the first time he's ever been stopped. Like he punches it, and it doesn't work. And the lieutenant's like, "Oh, you can't beat it. I made this new alloy that's infinitely harder than your hands, and you'll never be able to penetrate its exoskeleton." And so when it fires its arm at him, he grabs a hold of it and smacks it into itself. And he says that no matter how hard the material is, it can't ever stand up to itself. And that's a true fact. That's why they cut diamonds with diamonds.
Yeah.
And that was just from a little anime I saw in the 1990s with a kind of a weird plot, you know? You can
Right.
pull there's some interesting, like, I've never thought about it. I mean, I knew that they cut diamonds with diamonds, but the fact that that's why and how, like, I learned way more from that one little clip and looking it up than I did in most of the time in school.
Yeah.
And so that was just, it
And,
always stuck with me.
and that reminds me of the scene in Incredibles where he shoots an arm and fires it back at the robot that's supposed to have impenetrable skin, and it's just like that was pretty awesome right there.
What ended up happening? I've seen some of it, but I don't watch too much TV, so I haven't seen all of it.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, it was about this dude Syndrome who he was killing supers because he thought that he wanted to privatize or make it a super everyone's super, and if everyone's super, no one is, like
Right.
it just is obsolete. So he was going around killing supers, these quote unquote supers, and they were after this one guy, Bob Parr, the main character, and he shoots his arm at him, and they turn it back around and fire it back into him, and just like you were saying, and it's just like, yeah, okay, that's
Yeah.
same principle, but it's like, yeah, it definitely is what reminds me of that. They must have used that, looked at that anime and used that.
Maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's kind of interesting to think about. I know there's usually a bunch of those kind of references in modern day stuff, but yeah. Wouldn't surprise me if it was. There was,
Yeah.
like, I watched a whole thing on the sliding sideways on your motorcycle thing that came from Akira. I watched like all the Akira tributes and all the animes and movies from then on, and there was a lot of them. And I was like, I
Yeah.
never noticed that once.
Oh yeah. Dude, it's oh, if there's a motorcycle, it's bound to happen at least
They
once.
have to do the sideways
Yeah.
slide and into a "I'm staring at you" kind of a thing. I know they did it in
Right.
Batman.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's just like I see it now and it's like, okay.
Well, you got to do your tributes, man.
Yeah, I get that, but at the same time it's like, let's
Overplayed.
do something different with it or make it iconic in your own way. Like you can have it like a nod, but
Yeah. Well, I think it has to do with like the themes and stuff of the movie. Like, if you wanted an original theme, philosophy, whatever, there aren't very many.
hmm,
So, like, if you want to do something like an offshoot of this type of theme, you kind of have to give a nod because that's been done by this anime 1,000 years ago. And so,
hmm,
if you don't give the nod, then it just feels like you're ripping it off. I think
yeah.
that's my theory.
Yeah, I see that. I can see that.
It's like, oh, because even with that little nod, everybody's gonna be like, oh, Akira did that back in 1990s. You're just a ripoff. You suck. But like, what can you do? I mean, if you didn't have any ripoffs at all, nothing would ever get made because most of the really deep, brilliant, solid ideas
Yeah.
are done 100 years ago. Now it's just like the offshoots of those ideas, and so
Right.
you can't say that I invented it
Right,
unless you
right.
give a nod.
Yeah, I see that. That's definitely true.
Like I said, it's just my theory. I don't know. I'm not an expert on movies or anything. Just little things.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
Kira was a good movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a while, but I do remember liking it a lot.
Kira was very good, and then still to this day, probably my favorite movie out of not even just anime, just movies in general, was Ghost in the Shell and Ghost in the Shell 2. The
Hmm.
series was okay, but the movies were, oh. You ever watch those?
No, I don't think I have.
Like, that's the whole thing is about basically after World War III, blah blah blah. But it's about what it would be like after mind machine interfaces and the implications of it.
Hmm.
And it delves into a tremendous amount of philosophy, like, like because of how technologically advanced we are, this is an argument. I mean, it's not like my argument, but just as far as the show's arguing, we've kind of stopped evolving because there's no more real natural selection because even the weak can survive. And so
Right.
our next stage of evolution would be technological. And they had a whole thing about it's in the background. It's not mentioned directly, but it's a Deus Machina rather than Deus,
Yeah, yeah.
or not Deus Machina, Homo Machina rather than Homo sapiens,
Mm.
because our next stage of evolution would be mind machine interfaces connecting with the internet and then, plugging in with all this information. And then the movies go over about the implications of that, the problems of it, the benefits of it. They have like whole machine body except for their brain. They're basically just a brain so they call them cyber brains. It's just like a titanium shell. But
Yeah.
like they can get shredded and then they just get you a new body and you're fine because it's just your brain it's in there. Not
Huh.
everybody has been completely cyberized like that, but and then like some of the minor implications, like in one part they attack some gangsters or whatever, and Bato, the one big buff dude, he's got a robot body too, so doesn't really matter how buff you are, but he hacks their eyes and with using his brain, his computer that's attached to his brain, he goes into their cyber brains and edits out the information of him in their vision so they can't see him, and it was a form of invisibility. Little things like that. And one of the major points in the first one, one of the very first, like, he's not the bad guy, but the very first bad guy kind of scene, like antagonist setting up the antagonist. It's one of his lackeys. He was trying to hack into the senator's brain to get information about something. Senator, I think, but some politician's brain, tried to get some very crucial information, and he didn't even know he was doing it because his brain was hacked and they erased all of his memories and implanted fake ones. And then so the whole movie was partially about, is that you anymore if all your memories are erased and stuff like that, and what that means, and is that still a reason to keep living? And I mean, there's like all these philosophy just dripping from this entire show, every little scene. And the guy who did it, he is like an excellent artist. You have to watch that, dude. That is a must. That is still
Ghost
one of
in the
my
Shell
favorites.
and Ghost in the Shell 2.
Ghost in the Shell and Ghost in the Shell 2. And like every little scene, it's, this is a 90s anime, so that and even then it doesn't feel like a 90s anime because the technology is so, yeah, I could see that happening. I don't know if there's a word for that, but I could totally see all of that being real. Like it's not like fake at all, like where you see like a giant CRT machine in like Star Trek, like they're still using CRTs. No. But in this anime, they very rarely do stuff like that. They predicted the future very well. And then the primary antagonist is an AI, and I won't spoil anything for you, but the main philosophy of the show is what it means to be human and what humanity means. And is this AI who's conscious and swimming in the internet, is he considered a human or a living thing? Because he doesn't have a body. He's floating on the internet, but he's sentient, and he can, and it brings up points on what makes something a human or living or sapient, technically, I think is where they wanted to use. But and yeah, that's like all these little sub threads and plots that are like, just all of it is beautiful, man. You got to watch that.
I'll have to check it out. I have not watched it yet. I've dabbled very limited into the anime foray. Like I haven't even seen Ninja Scrolls, but I have seen Full Metal Alchemist, the whole series and movie.
Ninja Scroll didn't have a very deep philosophy. It was more like when you're 14 and you want to watch something that your parents would hate and you shouldn't be watching. It was Ninja Scroll. Everything about it. It was, and it exemplified the theory of one ninja is an unstoppable killing machine, but a million ninjas are just cannon fodder, and that was the entire show. Although it was still a good show, but it wasn't like, it didn't have like some deep philosophy. Although how they killed the bad guy at the end was really kind of neat, and I liked that part of it. You want me to spoil it for you? I'll just tell you.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll still watch it if I do. But eventually,
the bad guy is immortal. He found a way to control every single one of his cells or something like that mentally. And so, like, they cut off his arm, he grows it back or just reattaches it, and they stab him, and it just heals like instantly, like literally. They pull the blade out, and it's already almost healed. And so what they do is they're stranded on a boat. I think they kind of do it by accident. I don't think they even mean to kill him this way.
but he's stealing like a shit ton of gold. He's got this old, it takes place in like the 1800s or something, whenever samurai are around, and he's got this whole boat full of gold, and they catch the whole thing on fire, and the gold starts to melt because it has a really low melting temperature, and it forms like this pool of gold, and they just kind of basically chuck him into the gold, and he's immortal, but now he's encased in gold and floating to the bottom of the ocean. So, you know what I mean? It's like, I was like, oh, that's one way to deal with it. I mean, you can heal all you want down there, man, forever. Congratulations. Yeah. You're now tortured forever if you don't die from it. And you still might be able to suffocate. They've never proven that, but either way, he's done. I just thought that was cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool way to
die. That's like the Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones, where he's just like crown for king.
Yeah,
he pours the gold on his head.
The thing about that scene though is, I know it would kill him and it would hurt a lot. I don't think he would die that fast. I think he would live for a couple minutes.
Maybe.
Like melted into his skull. And I think it'd be like, I think they kind of cut it back so it wouldn't be so horrible, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm no expert on boiling people's heads, but I really think he would have survived a little bit longer than he did. He kind of died in like 10 seconds, and I don't think he would. I think it'd take longer. It'd be way more horrible, but
yeah. There'd be a lot of suffering, but I think they just cut the suffering and choking and gagging and stuff, and just was like, we got the point. Let's just move on.
Yeah, he just kind of stops screaming and falls over. Like I said, I really think he would have took him forever. Because I know, like, some people have been like shot, not like shot like right in the forehead, but they've been shot in the head, and they lived for. Some of them even lived beyond that. Like they went to the hospital and they survived. So I don't know if just pouring molten gold on your head would definitely kill you. I'm not saying it won't, but I'm just saying I think he would last a little bit longer in a more horrible fashion. Anyway, I'm repeating myself now.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, there's something like that, but oh goodness!
In real life, they used to. I think it was only for like blasphemers or something, but maybe traitors. Something. It was a special case, but they used to pour molten lead down people's throats. They put like a funnel in you and then like in your mouth, and they just dump lead down. Or gold was probably reserved for. I don't know if they've ever really did gold. I'm not 100% caught up on that topic, but maybe if it was like a king or something, you were trying to punish, you usurped the king and then you wanted to punish him in an ironic way, so you pour gold down his throat. That might be. I think they usually use lead because it's so much cheaper. You're not going to use $500,000 worth of gold on some random guy who's just a traitor,
Right.
But I know they really did that. They didn't put him on the head that I know of. It was always on the throat, which would be just as horrible.
Yeah, I think that would be more horrible. Molten lead in your chest.
All the boiling lead in your chest, because all the water would vaporize, and that would, I don't know what kind of damage that would do.
Yeah.
Eat a hole in your stomach out through your intestines. That's getting morbid.
Brought to you by
Nick's mental illness.
Oh goodness. Well, we've been an hour here, so I'm gonna let you go. I don't want to keep you too long, but this was fun catching up and chatting. We'll definitely have to get you on one of the ADHD theaters for sure.
Heck yeah, I would love to do that. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. Next time we do one, I'll let you know what the movie is and have you join if you're free. We normally do it on Fridays at night.
I work like 35 hours a week and sleep the rest of the time. I guarantee you I'm free as long as it's not at like a specific time when I have to work. I'm probably
right. All right. Well, it's been good to have you, and we'll.
Good to be here, dude. I had fun.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see you around and next time.
Yeah, I'll be on my computer next time. I thought my phone would be easier, but I'm thinking you can't even hear me sometimes.
Right. Yeah, you were cutting in and out there. That's.
I'm 90% sure it's my pinky or my thumb. I'm covering the microphone.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see how that would be annoying.
Yeah, I'm gonna just use my computer. It's better anyway.
All
All right,
right.
well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Hang on.